Hello guys, kindly check this application out. When I say 2 and send, it gives the multiplication table for 2. Likewise, any number 7 gives the multiplication table for 7. In this video, we're going to develop this using React hooks and Redux. If you want to type along with me, kindly install the following: 1. npm install Redux, 2. npm install React Redux, and 3. npm install Redux DevTools extension. With all said and done, let's begin. Thank you once again for sticking through, and welcome to the Redux section. To begin with, let's go to our Redux folder. So over here, let's create a file and call it store.js. Good. Then you go to the same Redux folder and create another file and call it root reducer.js. Good. Now in the same Redux folder, let's create another folder and call it multi-redux. Now in our multi-redux folder, let's create a file and call it mult.actiontypes.js. Good. Now in the same multi-redux folder, let's create another file and call it mult.actions.js. Good. In the same multi-redux folder, let's create another file and call it mult.reducer.js. Good. Good. So that is that. Now let's take mult.actiontypes. Now this tells us the kind of actions we need in the application, which we will say export const send number to store equals send number to store. Good. So that is that with the action types. Next is to go to mult.actions. Now in a mult.action, first thing to do is to import our action type. So we say import send number to store from where? From action types. Good. Now from here, what do? We say let send number to store equals a function. Equals a function that will return type send number to store, comma, and a payload number, and we give here to number. Good. We do this so that any number that is being typed here, it can grab the number that is being typed and send it to the store. So that is that. We export send number to store. So that is that for the action. So next is to go to mult.reducer. Good. Now mult.reducer, what do we did? We first need to import the action types. So let's go to the actions. We have it there. We copy it. Now take it to the reducer. Good. I just paste it here nicely. So next is to create a feature key in the store. So we say export const, let's call it mult key equals mult store. So in the store, we're going to have the name mult store. That is that. Now let's create an initial state. So we say let initial state equal to what? Num with a value empty, comma, next let's create an array. So we say num array, the value what? Let's make it this way. Let's give it id equals 1, then comma, multiply good, multiply a value 1 this way. Good. Now let's give it a comma, then we copy it 4 more times. So let's say 4. Good. Let's clean the last comma. So I name it 2, 3, 4, and 5. So likewise, the multiply 2, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that is that with the initial state. So next we say let mult reducer be equal to a function where the state is equal to initial state, comma, action. Or we can destructure this and we say let the type and the payload be equal to action, so that in our switch statement, when the type is being called with the case send number to store, what should we do? Then we should return what? Return the state back, comma, and the payload back. So that is that for the mult reducer. So nice, let's export mult reducer. So we say export mult reducer. Good. Export mult reducer to where? To the root reducer. So we go to our root reducer and import mult reducer. So we say import mult reducer from where? From mult reducer, from mult reducer. Good. Not Redux, mult reducer. Good. Next, we need to import combine reducers from Redux. So now we can say that let root reducer equal to combine reducers into bracket, we link the feature key. So we say mult key with a value mult reducer. Good. So that is that for the root reducer. Let's export it. So we say export root reducer. Good. Now export root reducer to where? To the store. So we go to the store and import root reducer. So we say import root reducer from where? From root reducer. Good. So next we need to import create store from Redux. Also, we need to import compose with DevTools. Compose with DevTools from Redux DevTools extension. Good. So finally, we can see that let store be equal to create store into bracket root reducer, comma, compose with DevTools function. So that is that for the store. We can finally export it and say export store. Good. Now export store to where? Export store to the app.js. So we go to app.js, then we import it. So we say import store from where? From Redux from store. Good. So that is that. We also need to import provider. Import provider from Redux. Good. Now next is to wrap the provider around the component. So let's check it. So we say provider should be given a value store equals store. So let's cut provider and take it down. Good, then we will make it nice. Good, so that is that. We wrap the provider around it. So that is that. Now let's check our browser to see if there is any complaint. Great. There is a complaint with the initialization. That's a mode reducer. It means we didn't give our default case. Let's go to our mode reducer and add our default case. So we say default should return state. Good. Now let's check the browser again and see if there's any complaint. Great, no complaint. So it means we are ready to go. Now let's check our store to see if everything is in order. Good. Open the store. Check the raw view. Okay. You can see everything is just in ready. The num is there. The num array tool is there ready. So what do we do next is to link the store and the component using use dispatch and use selector. So let's see how to do that. So we can close all this, and leave the component. Now go to the component, then we import, use selector and use dispatch. So we say import use selector, comma, use dispatch. from where? From React Redux. That is that. Let's initialize the use dispatch. You say let dispatch equals use dispatch. Add a function to it. Good. So our use dispatch is ready. What are we dispatching? Dispatching the action. Which action? The send to number action. So let's go back. Instead of alerting, so let's rather dispatch it, the number that will be typed to the store. So we say dispatch what? Send number to store. And inside it we write our number to capture the number. So we can send it to store. So next, let's comment our pre tag. We don't need it now. Let's comment it. And we go to our browser. Good. So when I say 3 and I say send, let's check our store. Great, we have 3 in the store. So it means our application is working for the dispatch. Now let's do something. Anytime I send, I don't want to still see that I want the input should be empty. So we go back to the dispatch. After dispatch, let's say set number should give us the number back, comma, then give us the num with a value empty. So let's check it out. If I say 5, send, see that the 5 vanishes. So let's check our store if the 5 is there. Great, we have 5 in the store. So it means our 5 tool is working. Now what we need to do next is to view the store using use selector. So let's check how to view the store so we can call it to the component. So we say over here we can now say view store. We select let's view mode. Let's call it view mode. View mode equals use selector function. Use selector function, which also gives another function this way. Good. So now we can say the state should return the state with a feature key, which is what? Mult key. Okay, good. Now let's import our mult key. We say import mult key from where? No. From where? Mult folder? No. From where? Redux. Good. And from mult Redux. Good. Then from mult reducer. Good. So that is that multi has been imported. So now to check it out, if there are mult view store is working, we can link that to the pre tag calling JSON to view it on the component. Okay, you can view it on the screen. So to do that, let's uncomment our pre tag. Then instead of number, we say view mult. So let's check it out. Great. So now we can see our store on the screen. Okay, so anytime number I type here, if I type 8, it says send, I can see on the screen, I can see 8 on the screen. It's just like viewing the store. So this is a store that we brought to the screen to look at it, so that we don't go back and forth. Next thing we want to do is to bring the num array to the table. So let's check how to do that. So we go to our table, and we have t head, so let's call out t body. So we say t body. Good. Now inside the t body, we need to call t row. But before we call the t row, let's create a map function. Okay, where we're going to say that view mult dot num array dot map to bracket should give us another function. Good. That will, we're going to say that, let's call it multiplier. Good. Multiplier should return what? Return to bracket, return the t row. Return the t row. Good. Return the t row this way, and inside the t row we have our td this way, like this. Now we need to give it a key, so we say our key equals multiplier.id. The next, our td, we're going to say that multiplier dot multiply. So let's check it out. Great. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the multiplier. So we'll bring this over here. Okay. Since you can see, let's make it bold. Okay. So we say class name equals font weight bold. Let's check it out again. Good. So now we need to bring the number, any number that the user types, you need to bring to the number column. So let's create another td. We say let's copy it. There we go. Let's create another td. Good. So instead, I just say that this time is going to be what? View mult dot num. Okay. So let's check it out. So we have view mult dot num. So it's going to, any number I type 4, I should see 4 coming. So the next one is the times. So let's work on the times too. I can just copy this again, and this time I'll make it times. So I'll call the times. Let's check it out. Good, our times is ready. I say 8. So 8 times 1, 8 times 2, 8 times 3. Now the results, just need to multiply them. So let's see how to do that. So over here, the last td, we're going to say that should be what? Multiplier dot multiply times what? Times the view mult dot num. So we say times view mult dot num. So just the same thing. We multiply this and this. So that is that. Let's check it out. Great. So if I say 8 and send, So you see 8 times 1, 8 times 2, 8 times 3, 8 times 5. So that is that. Now we need to make this dynamic so that when I say send before the body comes out. So we're going to do that using an if statement. So let's go there again. Let's go to the body, the T body, good, the T body. Now the T body, let's cut it, okay? Let's cut it. And we give it an if statement. Let's cut it. Good. So before the T body comes, we say, let's give it an if statement. We say if view mode dot num dot length gth equals 0. If it's equals 0, what do? Let's put there into bracket. Good. If it equals 0, what do? We should display. Let's put a question mark. Good. What do? Display what now? Otherwise, then you display the body. Okay. So if it's empty, it displays now. Otherwise, it displays the body. So let's check it out. Good. So when I say 5 and I say send, see right there, 5 table pops up. So to continue, let's comment the pre-tag. We don't need it anymore. So I'll go to the pre-tag, just at the top. Good. Comment it. Great. Go back. So when I say 20, good. So we have the 20 table popping up. So guys, that is that. Don't forget to do good. Thank you for sticking through. Catch you in the next video. We say goodbye.